Hey guys, and welcome to another episode in my news series. With this series, I take all the information that Trion gives us, be it on their live stream, Reddit, wherever, and I compile it into one simple and easy video. This week we have a little bit more information because it is about a week's worth of information. There is an AMA from Reddit, there is a live stream from Tuesday, and there is a live stream from today, Friday. So let's get into Tuesday's live stream. The first thing that they announced on Tuesday is they're finally adding the mimic block. That is going to be a block where, say you destroyed a tree. If you fill out the tree that was destroyed with this mimic block, it's going to copy the color of it exactly. So you know how we don't have grass in the game, we don't have trees in the game. You can't replace those blocks because they're unique. Now they're not unique anymore. You can finally fix your trees. You can finally fix up all those patches in your club where you had miscolored grass or something like that. So that's very, very cool. It copies the color horizontally first, then vertically, so if there's nothing horizontally next to it, so you have a 1x1 tree, it'll copy the color vertically. So if you start at the trunk of a tree, it'll be the color of the trunk of the tree. And that's pretty cool. Next up, they talked about the new class abilities and class reworks. So basically, what they said this time about the class update is that they're actually going back and basically just recreating the classes. Not the idea of the class, not the costumes of the class, nothing like that, but their abilities and stuff like that. So basically the old abilities might disappear and they might turn into new ones. We're also getting new abilities, so we're going to have more than just 2 buttons. They're going to add progression to the classes. So again, this might be Radiant 1 through 5. I don't know 100%, but you know, you're going to be able to do stuff which you currently couldn't do before. That's what they've always said. You've already heard that like a million times from them now. But basically they're just recreating the classes is what it seems like they're talking about. I don't know if that's 100%, but that's what I get from it. They're also adding with that update U8. That's all they said. I don't know if they're going to add U10. We already know U10 exists because it's already in the game files. It's always been there, but at least for now, it's going to be U8. So U7, U8. And they're also bringing the Shadow Tower update to that big update. So it's going to be like one big patch. Hopefully. They said that last time and it came out in like 5 different patches, but with this new big update, they're going to add the new Shadow Tower boss. They're going to add a party system, hopefully, in quotation marks. So that means, you know, you can invite people to a party, and if someone's not in the party, they can't join your instance, which is amazing. Thank you. My live streams just got 100 times easier. And also, they're going to update the Shadow Towers in general, so there's going to be, you know, the new Lunar Soul rewards. Obviously, they're adding a new boss, so there's that. They're also adding where you'd be invited to a Shadow Tower. It's not going to say U6 Shadow Dungeon anymore because that's 4 out of the 8 bosses that you can fight are U6 Shadow Dungeons. So now it's going to tell you you're being invited to a normal Spike Walker, hard Spike Walker, hard Dollar Moon, whatever. You're being invited to it. There's also going to be a little bit of UI added, meaning if you're in a hard Spike Walker, it's going to tell you somewhere on the screen you're in hard Spike Walker, floor 3 out of 4. You know, stuff like that. It'll also say that on the friends list. So if your friend is in a hard Dollar the Moon, you can see, you know, they're in hard Dollar the Moon and they're on floor 4 out of 4, meaning the boss. In case, you know, you're being invited from your friends list, you can see where they are currently in the Shadow Tower. So that's pretty cool. Also on Tuesday, the last thing they talked about was the favorites tab. So they're going to add a tab where, say you have a couple favorite mounts and you want to switch between them. You also have wings that you like and say a boat. It'll compile all your favorites into one tab where you can easily switch through all of your favorite stuff, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to skip the AMA for now and I'm going to go into today's live stream because the AMA is a little longer. So for today's live stream, what they announced was Chaos Chess announcement updates. So it's not Chaos Chess, it's all chess. I don't know why I wrote down Chaos Chess. So say you're opening up Troves of Wonder and you get a Gonda. It'll tell all your clubs that so it'll say exactly in chat, underrated has received Gonda the Sky Shepherd, so many mistakes today, a Sky Shepherd from Trove of Wonders. It'll say that in all your clubs. And it'll do that for Gonda, the Chaos Coin, and the Chaos top loot of the chest for that week, because those are, you know, the 3 rarest things you can get in the game. I don't know about anything else. Those are the only things that they said. It's just going to be the rarest of the rare in the game. So I don't know how spammy that is going to be because not everyone's going to get a Gonda and not everyone's going to get a Chaos Coin. I don't know how the top loot is going to be though, because I currently have 2 clubs that I'm in with 750 members. There's mine and Scythes that I'm in right now. So that's 750 members that could potentially be getting a neon night cycle every day or like every minute. So I don't know how spammy it's gonna be. I don't expect it to be too spammy, but we'll see. They're also talking about updating the couch chests, so not just adding, or basically they're just adding new stuff, but they're trying to make it sound a little bit more exciting, because couch chests are pretty much very, very dull, and they just throw a new thing in there every week. Every week they add a new thing. So they're talking about adding a lot this time. So they're talking about adding a new aura, a new weapon style. That's what they showed off, was weapon styles that could be different styles and stuff like that. So a new ally, a new mount, new wings, all that stuff. They're just throwing a lot in this time instead of just the old stuff. So it's going to be like one rotation is going to be all the new stuff, is what they're trying to say. So all 8 drops are going to be new drops for that week or whatever, and then they'll rotate in and out, you know. But at least for that 1 week, it'll be all new stuff. So no matter what you get, it's going to be new. And then finally, for today's live stream, they talked about the PvP modes, you know, the TDM and the 1v1 and all that. It's going to be actually released this Tuesday, so that's coming up pretty soon. So let's get into the AMA. The first thing they talked about, party system we went over, is the clubs. So if you guys don't know, they actually have a set plan right now, which I don't agree with, but, you know, I'll leave my opinions to myself. So they're going to be doing the classes now, and then after they're done with all the classes and reworking the classes and releasing that big update, their next big update is going to be club reworks. So they're going to go back and they're going to finally fix the clubs. One of those things that they're going to be fixing, what they talked about, is custom ranks. So say you have officers, you want half of them to only be an officer just to invite people, you can have that now. Say you have, you know, members of the club that you trust enough just to invite more people to the club whenever you're offline, you can have a rank for people to be able to just invite, and that's the only permission they have. If you want your architects, so you want to have an architect rank, but you don't want them to use a bulldozer, you can, hopefully, I think they should, if you're listening, they should make a custom command or a custom permission where a low-level architect can't use a bulldozer and stuff like that. They're just gonna allow you to give permissions to more ranks. They're gonna allow you to make your own ranks with their own permissions, stuff like that. And that'll be they'll probably announce more and more stuff about that update as it gets closer, because again, that's a while away. They still have to do their first update first, and then they'll focus on clubs. Next up, they talked about giving golden seashells a use, because they are currently the most useless item in the game. They have the least value of any item in the game, next to Glim. So they're finally going to give it some uses. Next up, they talked about adding like a Shadow Gonda type mount to the Chaos Chest. And basically just said they want to add more mounts like Gonda that have special effects. Basically all the Birds of Paradise. They're just going to add more mounts like that instead of just static mounts. Next up is dragons. They might take away dragons for a while. They might just release them less frequently, but they're going to be just making dragons less frequent. They're going to take them away for a while, kind of like how they're doing the new class. I'm not going to announce anything about a new class. I'm not going to make a new class. I'm not going to even think about a new class for a while. So that's basically what they're going to be doing with dragons. Next up is the daily bonuses. They might update those. So Wednesday is pretty much the useless one. It's 100% more Glim for Wednesday. So they know that's the least favorited, so they're going to make it maybe double fish, and they're going to do that for all 7 days of the week. They're going to look at the rewards, see what people like, what people don't like, and maybe update them. And then next up is lore. They're finally going to introduce some lore. They're going to tell you why you want to go around and kill everything, because currently, once you're dropped into the game and you go outside the tutorial, you enter the novice zone, and literally just every 30 blocks, there's going to be a monster to kill. You don't know why you want to go kill it. There's no incentive to go kill it, but every 30 blocks there's a monster to kill. Every like 100 blocks there's a dungeon to do. They're finally gonna give a little bit of lore to the game, which we can talk about in a second here with another answer. But besides that, so that's basically not questing, but they're gonna add some lore. They're gonna maybe add some named NPCs. Maybe, I don't know what they're gonna do with the lore. But they just said they're going to give lore, and they're going to release it incrementally, like a story. So maybe quests, but they also said they would never do quests, so we'll see about that. Next up, they said they're going to rework the hub. So right now, again, you're dropped into the game, you do the tutorial. The tutorial looks nice. I can say the tutorial is a good tutorial, but then you're dropped into the hub, and then you think, did a real developer make this game, or did someone in high school make this game? Because right now, the hub is a 200 by 200 square radius of buildings just cramped together. There is 2 little huts in the south west of the hub that have, one of them has 1 novice table in it, 1 novice crafting table in it. The building next to it, the little hut next to it, which is again like a 5x5 space, has 5 crafting tables that have the seasonal stuff in them, all cramped up into a little hut, again 5x5 with 5 crafting tables. Or it's a little bigger than 5x5. It's like an 8x8 or something like that. But you get what I mean. Then, you know, 20 blocks away is the fishing area where you can go and buy your fishing stuff. Then 10 blocks away is a community area where you can change your barber style, and then, you know, your community chest. It's just randomly put there. There's nothing around it. It's just a random chest and a random barber shop like 10 blocks away from the fishing area. And then, you know, 40 or 50 blocks away from that is the portals, which is just like a little tower with portals spread randomly around it in order. And then, you know, 5 blocks away from that is a PvP area where there's just, you know, a random portal and 2 NPCs wandering in a circle. And then, you know, so on and so on. It's just random. It doesn't feel like a launched game would look that bad. It looks like a cornerstone, to be honest. So they're going to go back and fix that. Hopefully. They're going to change the way the hub looks. So yeah, I probably went a little too much into that, but I'm really passionate about how bad the hub is, because it turns off players if you don't know. If you play the game, you probably don't care about it, but a lot of players actually quit just by getting to the hub because they see it and they're like, wow, this is such a crappy MMO. Why, like, give it any more time? So, thank you, but I think that should have been done in alpha, to be honest. Next up, I put add real gameplay to the worlds, and what I meant by that is kind of tied into the lore. So they're gonna add named monsters, kind of. I don't think they'll ever have like nameplates or anything like that, but they're gonna have like unique monsters, say rares or something. Maybe they have like a higher MF drop rate or something. They're gonna add like little bugs to the world, and, you know, like fireflies hovering over a set of ores or something. And, you know, every 30 blocks isn't going to be a set spawn for a monster or something like that. And there's going to be monsters that contest each other's territory. Say like a skeleton is next to a bee. They'll fight each other because they're, you know, skeletons don't like bees or something. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they talked about actually adding some elements to the worlds, and, you know, we'll see how that goes. Also, the last thing they talked about is doors and other interactable objects, kind of like, you know, lamps, stuff like that, will most likely never be added or are very, very far away because they're too hard to put into the game. You guys can make of that as you will. Again, I'll leave my opinions to myself because that sentence right there, just, yeah. Doors will never be added to the game because they're too hard to add to Trove. That's what they said. Literally, you can go and see what they said. I'll probably link the AMA down below in the description. I guess I could do that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, I guess, Trion, for taking the game out of alpha in the future, because, yeah, just by reading this AMA, you can tell that the game was never completed when they launched it, because they're finally adding real gameplay mechanics to the game or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. I still enjoy the game. I'm just disappointed that they released an alpha game to the public as a launched title. That's all I'm going to say about it. Again, I'll leave the AMA down below. I think it did more harm for them than good or something. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I guess you can leave your opinion down below. Maybe you don't care and you just want to go kill stuff with no incentive for an hour. That could be your thing. I've been doing it for 2 years. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news for this week. It was a little longer of an episode, so I'm sorry about that. But I hope you still enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like, and I will see you guys